I'm not sure where he is, but we're all scared. Where is Josh? Hashtag find Josh. I'm trying to find him right now.
Well, hello there, Applewhites. I wanted to talk to you about something really important. Now, I'm not joshing you. I feel like we all need to be looking for Josh. He seems to be missing. And as a Gen Xer, if he's gone into the woods, we know that he's not in a good place. So, Josh, where are you? Can you help us find Josh? And, of course, we know we don't talk about the woods.
This is a public service announcement. Everybody, please stop what you're doing. This is an emergency broadcast. There's a member of our community missing. Have you seen him, my dude? No? Everybody, hashtag where's Josh? Hashtag find Josh. Either one works. Let's go look for this dude. Josh? Josh? You in here, my dude? No? Are you in here? Man. Where is this dude? He has my Transformers books and my Spawn print. Let's find him.
Hey guys, we're still trying to find where Josh is. He keeps doing these whatnot streams, and he's somewhere. He's probably in a very, very dark place right now, trying to find books for people, trying to sell books, trying to do all that stuff. So you might find him in whatnot, but in the meantime, we got a show to run, guys. And since Josh isn't here, I figured I might as well get some homies into the show. So let's go ahead and kick things off with my main man, starting with Collected with Durst, the number one homie of them all. What's up, Durst?
Well, what is up, my man? How you doing, my dude?
I'm good, man. Durst is not alone. We're bringing somebody else in the show. Let's bring our man, Comic Man Andy. What's going on, man?
What's good, y'all?
All right, guys. So, any luck with Josh? Do we have any luck?
Man. No, sir. I've been hanging out on Whatnot, and I haven't seen him either.
Yeah.
You guys remember that clip from Pulp Fiction?
Which one?
The basement with the gimp.
Oh, you want the gimp?
Maybe he went digging too far for books.
Yes, sir. Tied up in the basement. And,
out of all the scenes of Pulp Fiction, you had to mention that. At least he wasn't in a diner, right?
Yeah.
Woo! Anyway, let's go ahead and say what's up to the people in the chat room. Starting with, of course, Las Cruces. Started at 12:43. Las Cruces came in and made sure he got multiples in. So, woohoo! Welcome aboard, Las Cruces. Also on the show, we got Lean Green Machine. All right, Larry is in the house. I love this comment. Zarbinski. Test. Hello, M1212 testing. Right. But we got to also make sure Les Cruces make sure we know that he's from New Mexico. So what's up? Also, we have Esteban. Now, Esteban always he says my name in Spanish. Like, that's right. That's how you say your name, because Spanish. Esteban. And right? That's how it is. So we hope we talk about the Street Fighter crossover. I don't know. I guess we could talk about the Street Fighter crossover, but I don't think there's much to talk about with the Street Fighter crossover. But I'll see what we can do there. All right. There's some guy here saying there's a clone of Comic Man Andy saying let's go. All right. Sector 2815. What's up? How you doing? All right. Jean is in the house. All right. And we got Scotty Vaughn getting ready for one show. He's helping out in the channel here. So he's going to be putting his chat stuff in there. Another friend of the channel, Samuel, is also in the show. And of course, we got our Finding Josh hashtag. So
nice.
I say he's in a very, very dark type place. Oh, it's pretty dark. All right. Also, we got Bobby in the show. Welcome, Bobby. All right. the Godfather himself, Brian LCS. Welcome to the show, Brian. We know that the comic book community awards nominations have been shut down. They're gonna tally up the votes and see who gets nominated. All right, so we got a lot of good people that have been nominated. I'm happy. I saw a lot of people last week throwing a lot of videos up and stuff like that. So really excited about that. All right, so let's see what there goes. Dirt's right there. Bit in Apple TV. Wait, we're not joshing? No, we're not joshing today. We still can't find Josh. He's somewhere dark. Brian's just here for Danny's dad joke. Sooner or later, I guess we could throw a bonus joke somewhere along the lines. I don't know. We'll see. All right, Kenneth Bird, what's going on, my man? How's it going? Couple comics, right? That's right. The Monday night lineup has begun, and Mark is a Barbie girl in a Barbie world.
Nice. Whoa. Come on, Barbie.
Hey,
let's go party, baby.
There we go. There. All right. So welcome everybody to the show. We got a great show lined up for you. As you can see, Dirks and Andy are here. We're going to be talking about what's trending and what's new. Obviously, you saw by the trailer and everything that we're talking about. We're going to talk a little bit about the trailers and stuff like that. So if you're new to this show, thank you for watching. Hit subscribe, like, thumbs up, leave a comment, all that fun stuff. If you're watching a replay, thank you so much. And yes, use hashtag JustJosh. We got a giveaway that we're going to be doing today. I decided to go old school on my giveaway, right? Because usually I have new books for the giveaway, but this time I decided to go with the old school. But there will be one new book in this giveaway. So I got a stack of books here, but I'm going to show them off to you guys. So let me just go ahead and put that solo. Actually, let's do this one. There we go. So I have to take off the screen because everybody doesn't like black. They don't like the. Okay, now let's go green screen here. Okay, so this week, if you guys don't know, this week there's a new book coming out from Marvel. It is a Wolverine Ghost Rider crossover event that's coming out this week. And I figured, why not go back in time with some Wolverine Ghost Rider goodness? So I found some books in my stash here that I was willing to say goodbye to. And that is the following. X-Men #9, classic Jim Lee. We got some good Jim Lee goodness here. Look at that cover. Woo, love that. All right, nice. So we got that on there. We got Ghost Rider 29. This one's signed right there by Andy. So Andy signed that one. We got another Jim Lee goodness. We got Ghost Rider, the other Ghost Rider crossover event. This was part of a crossover event that they had during this time. They crossed over Ghost Rider. Yeah, so this is a crossover event too. I'm not sure if I'm giving everybody the full crossover. So that's 27. This is 26. Right
got
there.
that
Look
one.
at that. Yeah. When the Brood, right?
Mm-hmm.
that was always nice, right? And then another cool crossover event was Wolverine, Ghost Rider, and Punisher. So we got this one, Heart of Darkness. If you guys remember that, this is it opens up. It's really cool book. So you got that book there. So Punisher's included in that mix. And it was so good, they had to do it again. And they did Ghost Rider, Wolverine, nice. Punisher, Dark Design. And you know what? I found it again because apparently I have multiple copies of this book. I don't know why I have so many copies, but we got a little glow-in-the-dark book to go along with it.
Fire.
So, yeah, literally. So
my favorite part about that cover right now is there's a meme floating around on social media where it's like the guy's like telling his girl, "Come to bed, I got a surprise for you." And then he lifts up the covers, and that cover's glowing in the dark underneath. It's epic.
Yeah, this one does glow in the dark. So you guys put in the hashtag JustJosh, and we'll do the giveaway a little later in the show. In the meantime, we got to talk about what's trending. So as we get started with the show, let's go ahead and pop in that video for what's trending right about now. Okay, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about because as I mentioned in the trailer, is the MCU screwing up with the market? Let's answer that question first.
Yes.
Well, you're saying yes, Andy. What do you say, Thirds?
I don't know, man. We'll see. But it's definitely going downhill. I'm definitely been reading a lot more DC than Marvel for sure.
Yeah. But I think it's not just Marvel. I think Marvel's has a bigger problem. But we're gonna see here in these two books that we're gonna look at right now. This is a problem. Captain America 7 is a top trending book, and it features the first appearance of the Daughters of Liberty, which is, I guess, is another form of A-Force. Would you say similar to A-Force? It's like a female-led group of Avengers, but this one has Jessica Drew, Sue Storm, Misty Knight, White Tiger, Annabelle Riggs, Mockingbird, and Echo. So there is a rumor floating around now that they are going to make a project featuring the Daughters of Liberty. Did anybody need that?
I have not seen that. I'm not too excited for it though. I know nothing about the Daughters of Liberty. Sue Storm would be cool. Misty Knight would be cool too.
Is more content isn't always bad, but more bad content is definitely bad. So it's like quality. Give us quality writing. Give us quality content. This is the biggest gripe a lot of us have with Marvel. Is just quality writing, quality content.
Yeah, and I think part of
I was going to say, does anybody care enough in like the comic book world? I know there's probably fans of that group, but does anybody care enough for Marvel to really invest the time and money and energy into making more movies like that?
Well, I think, as Andy said I think the problem is quality. Why are we giving up quality over quantity? You know what I mean? We've been giving show after show. I was enjoying Secret Invasion until they did what they did, and even the whole Rhodey thing, like we kind of knew it was Rhodey. Spoilers for anybody who doesn't know. We kind of knew about the whole Rhodey situation, but Rhodey, who, like, in a real life scenario, when will a colonel tell a general off?
Right.
Their
whole dynamic was a little weird.
And there was a whole scene where he told a general to shut up. Andy, you would know better. You served. Would that happen in real life?
There's too many of, no, yes and no. I mean, officially, unofficially, it depends on the relationship between those people in that leadership role. But that's another big gripe I have with anybody making content out there, movies, shows, is they never really truly hire somebody from the military as an advisor to advise on military aspects within content and content quality. Like, literally, there's plenty of people out there directly from the military that love a side gig for very much cheaper than what they offer some other people to go in and advise, make sure uniforms are right, make sure dialogue is right, make sure interactions are right. And that's where a lot of veterans in the community are kind of like, yeah, no, I'm done.
Yeah, and I have never served or anything like that. And even I was like, that just doesn't make sense. He's an advisor to the president. He's a colonel. Shouldn't the advisor to the president be a general?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then even at that end, like, shoot him. Like, no way. That just made no sense. It was just poor writing altogether.
Yeah, the ending of that show was a real letdown. I loved it up until the last episode. I thought it was great until the very last episode. Is my opinion.
It seems to be a common problem. The last episode always seems to be the moment, right?
I don't think I made it past episode 3 or 4.
Yeah. I usually try to finish those off. You know what I mean? Those are the type of shows I always watch. I want to see where it leads us because, of course, it's going to supposed to take us to the movie, which it looks like it will. But I would do that.
Just the small little Super Scroll references here and there, and then seeing him change one episode, that enough was hype for me enough to keep watching it. And then, like I said, the last episode, the fight scene was cool, but just the whole way everything tied up just killed the entire momentum of the show. And a lot of shows are like that, like you said.
Yeah. So we have Captain America 7. The one that people are really hunting for is the second printing, which actually has them in the cover. But this one's also, cover A still has some demand. Speaking of dumb spec books, I'm going to say dumb.
Super dumb. I agree.
Well, This is not so much a spec as it is reality, because the Zaniac will be in Loki.
A movie poster.
But no, not just movie poster. There's if you look at the trailer, there's a scene where they're looking for the actor. So the actor, because Zaniac's an actor. Yeah. So the actor that they're questioning, that is the Zaniac. A $15 book, guys. It's going. People are going
grab
crazy
it.
for the
9.8, baby.
Get your books while they're hot, man. Get your books while they're hot.
I'm hyped for Loki. I think that's going to be amazing. The first season was some of the best things Marvel had ever done.
Yeah, I really did like Loki.
This definitely feels like a very short-term hold. If you find it in your boxes and need a couple of bucks, I'd probably get rid of it, but I wouldn't pay much more than $5 or $6 for this if I found it.
Just looking at it just looks bad. It looks like a poor man's creeper. It does.
God.
He really does.
He reminds me of a green Dr. What is it? Dr. Amadeus from Planet of the Apes.
With
the beard and the hair and everything. Yeah.
Ugh.
I want to see what that second image is. I'm loading that up.
Yeah. All right. Next book in our list is Star Wars 43. This is the first appearance in American comics of Lando Calrissian. Another big moment because we got confirmation that our good friend Donald Glover, like I said, good friend, right? Donald Glover is coming back, and he is planning to write a Disney Plus series of Lando. How does that sound?
He's doing it with his brother or whatever.
He's doing it with his brother, man.
Yeah. I think it'll be cool. I mean, Lando's not really a fan favorite, but in the movies, just his core, he's a good actor. He's legendary. He's iconic. So I'm pretty sure it'll be good. As long as it's, I hope it has more of a serious tone of like Andor and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. Though something a little bit more serious, a little bit more adult rated. I definitely think that this is a book that I would probably not pay much attention to until after this hype has died down, and I'd be looking for this because I mean, if they're just talking about writing, we're 3 to 5 years before you see a show.
Like everything else
later on. Like this is, I think this book has been seeing some other highs that we haven't seen for a year or two, but. Man, it's a 1981 Star Wars book. Getting this in high grade at a low price is a good long-term hold in any personal collection for a Star Wars fan like myself.
I agree. Yeah, especially with Lando. And this is also the second appearance of Boba Fett. A lot of people don't even know that.
Which is surprising that it doesn't carry a little bit more long-term leg or a little bit more long-term value, because as people get priced out of first prints, where do they generally go? Second prints? But this one just doesn't seem to carry that prominence, if you will, that second appearance prominence. Maybe it's the cover. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, the cover doesn't say much. It's very bland. It looks like a panel in a comic rather than a cover. It doesn't have that pizzazz that a normal cover would have, even in 1981. So we got C Bizzle in the house. What's up, C Bizzle? Also, Black Spiders is here. And look, the comic vet. Yep, that's right. Hashtag find Josh, guys. Let's do what we can to find him. All right, here's another book this is not an old book. This book came out back in 2007. It's Metamorphal Year 1. The only reason why this book is here is because there is an interest in Metamorphal now. And this is one of those books that features an origin. It's easy to get. As you can see, a high grade for this book is $3. But it's just for people to know who this character is. Metamorphal, I guess you could say he's a DC version of Supergirl in some weird way, but with some issues.
I mean, this makes sense considering the woes we've had with Marvel as more people steer towards DC. What's the cornerstones of any comic collector's toolbox, so to speak? First appearance, second appearance, origins. So for this to get a little bit more attention as people kind of divert away from Marvel seems to make sense. I don't know anything about it, though.
Yeah. We lost Dirts. Dirts disappeared. He's been having network issues lately, so I'm sure he'll bounce right back. So when he comes back, we'll put him back on.
I've researched your symptoms, and it appears you have network connectivity issues.
Find Dirts. He's with Josh now. Josh claimed him.
The internet ate him up.
All right, moving on. Well, we wait for Dirts to return because I'm sure he will. Haunted Mansion #1. This is the 2005 comic book that came out several years ago. Inspired by the Disney ride. This movie tanked. Like, bad.
Really?
It did not do well. It came out last week. Hashtag find Josh and Poor guy. Poor Durs, man. He's been having network problems for a while, so he'll be back. I'm sure he'll be back. But yeah, so Haunted Mansion, this is one of those books that has a spike right now. Just like you said earlier with the Star Wars book, do not buy this book. I wouldn't buy this book at all right now. I'll just wait to the movie. Well,
do you know why this is getting some attention?
It's getting attention because of the movie.
Okay. I've also been seeing on social media through TikTok and IG Reels and some other stuff that it's getting some attention. Not the book, but the Haunted Mansion. That ride in Disney, apparently if people utter phrases from the ride outside while they're in line, they'll get booted out.
Really?
Yeah, that's been floating around on TikTok and IG. And people are getting kicked out if they utter any of the phrases or any of the song or anything while they're in line waiting for it. They're getting kicked out.
What's the point behind that, man?
I don't know.
So this past year we went to Disney. My wife loves this ride. She absolutely adores this ride. And it's one of those rides that you could just get in, right? You just get in, right? It's been there for such a long time. There is a general love for this ride. But I think like all the other movies that were formerly known as ride, I think with the exception of Pirates of the Caribbean, I think Disney is they're just grasping, man. They're trying to figure it out, man, but they cannot get it the right volume. First of all, this movie had no business coming out now. It should have waited till late September, where it could have gained some kind of Halloween momentum. Or maybe it's just because they want to put this on streaming. If that's the case, they should have just done that in the first place. All right, moving on to our next book here. This one I think is just because of the cover's sake. It is Venom Lethal Protector #2, the Alex Ross version variant of the Timeless covers. It's just a nice Alex Ross cover. It's always nice to see that. Wow. Not the only one that didn't know there was a movie. Yep, it came out already. It's been out for 2 weeks now. No one's watching that thing.
I'd never heard of it until you mentioned it too.
Yeah. Rosario Dawson, Danny DeVito.
That's what that clip is floating around from. Okay.
Yeah.
There's that Danny DeVito clip floating around. I'm like, where's this from?
Yeah. Jared Leto's in it. Jamie Lee Curtis. They're all in this movie and no one's watching it. They've been ghosted like the movie.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Speaking of movies, another one that's back on this list, Avengers 267, the first appearance of the Council of Kangs. I guess Loki brought it back up, and this is a perfect example of a scene that we saw in a movie, which is causing a comic book that has a scene that was, I guess, the inspiration from. And that's all this book is. It's a scene. It really is. It has, it has a death. It has a death in it. It has a robot Kang, an unknown Kang, but it really is. It's just a scene of Council of Kangs, and that's the first time we see the Council of Kangs.
Really villain spec at most.
Yeah, and I would call this it's considered a key, but it's like as minor they get, right? Because no real big significance to this key.
I mean, if you're a Kang fan or if you're an Avengers fan, sure, you're adding this book to your collection.
Yeah, exactly. I do dig the cover, to tell you the truth. What I thought was weird is that the X-Men are in this cover too, because you have Storm here, you also have Colossus in this image, which I thought was interesting, and the Hulk, because for a very long time the Hulk was in the Avengers for one issue, and then we didn't see him again for decades later. So Hulk is kind of like one of those Avengers that he's not really an Avenger. He just was in the first rendition of it. So there you have that book there. Another book here that's in this list here is Avengers Annual 21 for pretty much the same reason. Another book that was considered, top 90s flair from its time. And it features Kang as Victor Timely. This one is a key because of Loki. Because we're getting Victor Timely. So this is his first appearance. So Citizen Kang is the name of the storyline, which
I always hated those title card headers at the very top with the Marvel logo and the big band, and I still don't like them.
What, the annual covers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I dig them. They made them feel different.
That's true.
I think in this cover has too much stuff going on for it, though.
It's busy.
It is really busy. The colors, everything. And I don't even know what that corner box. The corner box is actually an image of Kang's face, but it just looks awkward. So there's that book. Here's another book that seems to come back and forth, but it's the Batman Spawn variant. Did Tom McFarlane own San Diego this year? Was this like his year?
I don't know. There's been lots of clips and lots of stuff I've seen, but I can't ascertain whether that was before San Diego or during. I haven't really dug that deep into it.
Yeah. I know in San Diego he was dropping a lot of bombs. He was like, "Hey, we're going to be doing this. We're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing this. We're going to be doing that." There's a version of this book that came out in San Diego. It's not this cover, but it's the other one. It's where Spawn's on top of Batman, but the variant is a toy. They're toys, so it's the action figures that they pose into this picture, which I think is pretty cool. So it's kind of like, remember the Toy Fair books from back in the 90s that were like the Wizard books? So it's kind of like that, where they recreated the cover, but utilizing the toys. That's the book that people are hunting for.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So this is saying the SDCC exclusives caused a bump for that.
Yeah, it definitely did. For this one in particular, I think. But I think the variants are the ones that people are looking more for. And now we have Batman 638, another good classic book from 2005. This is the first first revelation that the Red Hood was Jason Todd all along. So do you remember when this book came out? Because I remember reading it.
This was in that black hole of collecting for me from 2000 to like 2008-ish.
Oh, really?
I wasn't reading or collecting then. I was in the military.
So what was interesting about this reveal was that about a year earlier, we had Batman Hush. And if you read Batman Hush, there's the scene where Batman goes to the cemetery and they brought back Jason Todd. And it turned out that Jason Todd was actually Clayface. Right? So that was a big deal because the way Jeff Loeb wrote it and Jim Lee drew it, it was revealed that Jason was back from the dead.
Okay.
And so it was like cliffhanger galore. Excuse me. And then afterwards, in the next issue, it was revealed that it was actually Clayface. But because of all that hype and because of the momentum that it gave, DC went ahead and said, you know what? Let's just bring them back. And they pretty much brought it back with the same costume, too. Pretty much. The only difference is that he had the Red Hood over it. And this was like, oh, Jason's back. And you know what? Jason, who was in the 80s a hated character, people couldn't stand Jason. He comes back, and people were like, okay, we kind of like this character. It's a different take on a Robin. It's a more ruthless Robin. It's what Batman could be, but never ends up becoming. And this is the book that started it all off. It's actually a pretty good run, too. There it goes. Yep. Love me some Red Hood. All right. Here's another one. Timeless #1. This is the Miss Minutes variant. How do you like Miss Minutes? Do you like Miss Minutes?
I do. I liked Loki season 1. I liked Miss Minutes, but this carrying value or this carrying weight just doesn't make any sense. Like, it's not even just a minor key at best if this is a key.
It's only a cover appearance, too.
Yeah. That's the other reason why I remember that when that came out is everybody's like, with all this hype going on, you guys realize everybody buying this, if you're not reading the book, it's just a cover appearance.
Yep. It's just a variant cover that everybody went nuts. Now, it's demanding, the high value right now is $30, which is actually lower than its high. It was demanding a lot more back then. And
I think it was approaching 60 back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's going to go up again because she's back. She's coming back in Loki. So this is, again, another example of how the MCU is starting to make these books rise in value, but they really don't have much value to them. Like I said, it's just a cover appearance. She made her first appearance much later, but we got Beckerman in the house. What's up, Becker? We got who else just showed up? I hate Miss Minute. Fernburn, the nerds in the house. I've enjoyed the character. Oh wow, yeah, the black and white cover.
Marvel and their 1/100s, man.
Yeah, oh, they drive me crazy. Especially the second printing, they drive me up the walls. These second printings. All right. Another book that's on the list. This is definitely a book worth getting if you ever had the chance to find this at the cheap. Iron Fist 14, the first appearance of Sabretooth. The 70s was weird, man. All these characters that became huge afterwards debuted in books that Iron Fist, Sabretooth, did they ever cross over again after this? I don't even remember. So. Right? It's just one of those things that it's just like, oh, he's here, now he's gonna be here. They planted. So
this seems like a no-brainer book for any like long-term Marvel collector that's looking to add all of those keys. It was like we all do with collectors. You want to collect a run of books, you always go for the books that are harder to get when they're the best value or price. Mm-hmm. This just seems like a no-brainer buy when the pricing and the timing's right.
Yeah, and this book is gaining momentum because again, there is a rumor that Lev Schreier might show up in Deadpool.
Ooh.
So whenever you see these spec books, it's because of a movie usually. But there is a rumor. Why not get the wrestler? I forgot the name of the wrestler. Remember the wrestler that played him in the first X-Men movie? I can't remember his name. Darn it. I don't even remember him as a wrestler, to tell you the truth.
I can see his face.
And he's back.
This is
welcome back, sir.
SpiderMan. I need to figure something out. So dude, I froze. It froze, and I just had to unplug my laptop and restart the whole thing.
We're like, Josh took you
into the abyss, bro, for real.
Into the abyss, right? So here we are. We're talking about Iron Fist 14, first appearance of Sabretooth. There it is. Thank you, Las Cruces. Tyler Mane. Let's bring Tyler Mane back. What's he been up to? I enjoyed that Sabretooth for some dumb reason. Scream for me. Come on. You know, and what I liked about that Sabretooth is because he did look a lot bigger than Hugh Jackman Wolverine, and that's something I did enjoy about it because Sabretooth was always much, much bigger than Logan. All right. TM Nerdy's here. I saw Roscoe earlier. Where's Roscoe? There he is. Roscoe showed up. What's going on, Roscoe? So we got behind the lines, between the lines. Well, I'm saying behind the lines, between the lines. Yes.
What goes on behind the lines?
You know what I'm saying? No. All right. So moving on to another book here that I honestly do not understand why this book is so hot. It's an okay cover at best. I've seen better covers by Linnea Francis Yu. I've seen much better covers between the sheets. Yeah, that's the show you guys really want to have, right? That's the after hours show.
You gotta subscribe to the Patreon for that.
The OnlyFans.
The OnlyFans, exactly. Okay, Incredible Hulk issue number 2. I know Incredible Hulk has been hot. The last couple of issues have been extremely hot. We got back to Incredible Hulk being a monster. He's also a jerk to Banner, which is awesome.
This book?
Yeah, but this is the 1 in 25 variant.
Is this the series after the Kate series that everybody's been talking down about?
No, this is the series that's going on right now.
It's fire, bro.
Oh, is it?
Good.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good, but I don't get this cover being so hot.
The cover's all right. Not my style, but I wouldn't pay more than $5 for it or something.
Well, it's demanding 40 right now.
They are insane.
Well, so a 1 in 25 isn't even double ratio yet. That tells me that that's going to be back to ratio or under in less than 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the only thing I could say about this book that pushed it up is it was a San Diego exclusive.
Was it?
And it was a San Diego exclusive through a panel. So they go. You went to a panel. You went to the U panel, the Francis U panel, and they were giving out this book.
So it's not a true 1 in 25 then. Okay.
Yeah, and there's also a virgin variant that's there. This is a trade that we're looking at, but there is also a virgin variant. So
right, facts, Scotty.
It's an okay cover at best. I don't think it's a cover that I will plant on my wall.
I would just say things aren't my style because things aren't everybody's style. It's a cool cover, but just something I want to go for.
Agreed. I mean, it might not be up my alley, but like you guys said, it might be for somebody. And if it's not a true 1 in 25, if it's a con handout exclusive to a panel, it could be way more limited than a true 1 in 25 with Marvel, thereby giving it some long-term legs potentially.
Yep. Here's another good classic 90s goodness. You got Ghost Rider #1 at the first appearance of Danny Ketch.
Nice.
I love me this cover. This is gorgeous to me.
Classic.
Classic. And they had a Marvel card that was either really close to this or it was the art. I can't quite remember the Marvel Masterpiece.
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was the same one, but like foiled out.
Yeah.
So good. So good, this book.
I regret not buying a 9.8 of this for the personal collection years ago when it was
really
uber cheap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The new series with Danny Ketch is really good too.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of good things about the new series. Yeah, I got this book when it came out, the day it came out. So when this was a new comic book day for me. And I saw this cover and I immediately, what was interesting about it is that it was Danny Ketch. So it was a second Ghost Rider, but no one argued. No one complained that it wasn't Johnny Blaze. And then we eventually got Johnny Blaze back. But it was a different time. We accepted Danny Ketch for some reason. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes whenever a character comes in and takes the mantle of another character, some people not feeling it. This one was accepted. And then we eventually got Johnny Blaze back. So some good stuff. Another character that took the mantle of another character, and I think we accept it. Blue Beetle.
I'm excited for that movie, man. It looks good.
I'm excited for it too, but it's projecting really bad.
Whatever. Blue Beetle probably doesn't have the biggest fan base, but honestly, in the comic culture right now, we don't really care what character it is. As long as it's a quality CGI, if it's a decent movie, we're gonna show up for it. So I think it's gonna have a really good acceptance with the kids too. My son's was big excited for it.
Yeah, and I like the fact, he is Mexican. He's of Mexican descent, so he's a Latino superhero, which I like. We don't have a lot of those. Here's a beautiful Jim Lee. George Lopez. I think actually George Lopez kind of hurts it, to tell you the truth. I don't know why. I think George Lopez hurts the movie. I don't know why.
Man.
You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like it's like taking that serious. But what I'm concerned about DC as opposed to Marvel is that everything that we're seeing from DC these days is not getting any love because I think people have already made the decision, like, we're not coming back until Superman.
Right.
If they come back for Superman. You know what I mean?
Flash really, really, really hurt DC. That was that momentum going into the James Gunn crossing over, and then you had Flash come out, which was
I mean, look at the time base too. The 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Look at the size of the fan bases, right? Like if you're going to be doing a Marvel movie, Marvel seems to have a much larger fan base than say DC, and that's just kind of the reality of that situation. If they're going to do a DC movie, they got to realize that they're going to have to do it on a tighter budget. And the reality is there's going to be fewer DC fans going to see it, or not fewer DC fans, but a smaller group of people.
You got to think of the general audience. We're not the general audience. The general audience is people who have never read a comic book in their life, and they're going to see the movie. That's what's making up a lot of these movies. So you have to cater to both cultures.
Yeah, exactly. And it's one of these situations where I think Blue Beetle probably would have been more successful if it was a streaming movie. Just the thought, because it was intended to be a streaming movie, and I think that's also hurting its possibilities because people are looking at it and probably thinking this movie was supposed to be for TV. Why am I going to spend my money?
Dude, it's tough for me to even spend my money on movies like The Flash or like blockbuster titles. It's hard for me to.
It's not easy.
It's expensive, the girl, the whole family, all the movie tickets and everything. And I've never been a fan of the movies growing up and stuff either. I like to sit at home and enjoy my movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's an excellent point.
Living Lightning is my Mexican representation. Yo, Mike. I don't think we'll ever see a Living Lightning, but I could be wrong. We're getting a Zaniac, so who knows? Whoever thought you were going to get the Zaniac in live action?
At this point, you might as well just buy the first appearance of every character.
Every single character. All right, so we got Marvel Comics Super Size 22. This came out back in 1982 in September. This is a adaptation to the Blade Runner movie from 1982. A lot of people haven't seen that movie. I seen it. I seen that movie a long time ago. I saw the new movie. I loved the new movie.
The new movie was dope.
The movie is awesome. But there is word that Ridley Scott is bringing back Blade Runner into a TV series, and apparently this is the book that people are going to be hunting for.
Nice.
Even though there's a Blade Running series going on right now.
Ooh.
So
I love the original movie. I loved the second movie. I think this is a book that's a solid grab for any sci-fi fan that's been collecting the last 30 years. If they don't already have it, they're going to be looking for it at a good price.
Yeah,
I didn't even know this existed.
Same here, and I didn't know Marvel did it.
First time seeing it,
yeah. What's TV good? 22. 22 is in the house. Hey. What's up, 22? Another later on, he's gonna be talking about his books. All right. There we go. Some San Diego goodness. Transformers #1, the San Diego black and white book.
Fire.
$250.
You had to be in that panel, bro, to get it. It's a panel book.
Whew.
So essentially, it was like a retail, almost like a retailer instead of con exclusive.
It was like a lottery. You had to win the lottery to get into the panel, and then you got that book as well for being in the panel.
So what could you compare this to in the past? The first book that comes to my mind was the and I'm not saying it's an exact comparison, but books that come to mind that are like this are like the retailer incentive of Saga, limited to just like 400 or 500 copies or whatever. Not saying this is going to perform like that. What I'm saying is when the fandom's there and the book is good and the limited availability is there, then things start to grow legs beyond what people think. So the fact that this is already projecting at $250 with an upward price trend, it happened sooner than I thought it would.
It's the hottest fandom right now with Void Rivals and Transformers. I 100%, like Trev said, it's a gorgeous book, but I would definitely take the colored version and the $150 price drop as well all day.
Does anybody know what this was? The print run on this was?
No, I don't. We could find out.
200. Off the top of my head,
probably is pretty. It's probably really low.
I think it was 200.
But Dirts, I'm unlike you. I like me some good black and white books.
I do too, but not for that price. If you can get the colored version for a cheaper version for sure.
So I like black and whites because I get to see the artist's raw work. That's what I like about it.
Oh yeah.
This is a straight up, because the thing is, because I'm old school like that. I'm not a big fan of coloring the way it is that is done today. I think coloring today is phenomenal, but there's something about the old method that looks really cool as well. Now you get to see the artists how they truly are, as opposed to today. Today, you could make anybody a fantastic artist. And I'm not saying these are bad artists, but you could make anybody a fantastic artist if you have some amazing colors to go along with it. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But I love the way it looks. I like the contrast because you have to use contrast. And that's what I love about black and white.
This will definitely be a book to watch over the next 5 years, in all seriousness. But that, if it's truly 200 printed, and the fandom, like you mentioned,
oh god,
yeah. And I think we only gonna find out when we find out how Transformers is. Transformers, G.I. Joe, because we had a craze like that a little while back with DW, with Dreamwave Studios, and then that died out. So it could happen again. So we'll see how it looks. Even though I know there's a lot of momentum right now, I want to like you said, Andy. I want to wait 5 years to see how it looks.
So here's the trick with fandoms like this. This core group of the G.I. Joe Transformers fandom, we're between 30 something and 50 something, maybe even 60 something. Where's the next generation of this fandom? They've got to it's got to be.
And Daniel Warren Johnson is doing it because you have all the people who are Powerbomb fans and got introduced to Daniel Warren Johnson through that and Murder Falcon, who are like me. You know, I'm a monster, you know, Beast Wars for sure, but it's really the Michael Bay Transformers cartoon was just a little before my time, but it was Michael Bay movies and Beast Wars for me. But then being a Daniel Warren Johnson fanboy, now it's all these other fandoms are coming in. So you're getting it's blowing up right now, in my opinion.
As long as they keep that alive and good quality content coming out, like you said, Daniel Warren Johnson.
Yeah, and I think that's what's driving these books.
Agreed.
The creative team. If it was just another Transformers book,
who knows?
You know what I mean?
And then you have Marvel reprinting all the IDW Transformers.
Of course. Why wouldn't they?
It's a whole circle of everything.
It's printing money, man. That's all you're doing. It really is. And about time they did it too, right? So our next book is an Ash Cash. Oh, Lord God, help me. It's an Ash Can. Thank you. Batman Gargoyle of Gotham. This was a retailer book that was sent out to all the retailers.
I'm excited for the story.
So all the LCSs received a copy of this book. It was an Ash Can. Josh, before he disappeared, he told me he received a copy.
Nice.
And he gave it away.
Nice.
And yes, Cap, it is an Ash Can. Yes, I am. Izzy is Team CMYK. You know it. All right. So this book is, of course, a book that's coming out. It's a Black Label book. I'm excited to see what it's about. Yeah, go ahead.
Basically, Bruce Wayne gives up the entire Bruce Wayne mantra and just goes full Batman, 100% Batman. Completely embraces the role, and he doesn't even care about being Bruce Wayne. So that's kind of the theme of this book. Really
and
dark.
Being that it is a Black Label book, they could do whatever they want with it.
Right.
Which gets me. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be very dark from what I've seen. So I'm hyped for it.
All right, and now we got another movie that came out that did not perform.
I'm excited for it. I haven't seen it yet, but
I saw it. I did see it. I saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I'm down for it.
It did not perform, guys. Unfortunately, it did not do well, which I'm shocked by. I thought this movie had the potential to be a top contender this week, and it wasn't. It came in 4th place.
What was it behind? Barbie, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Barbie was number 1.
Really? My girl watched it yesterday. She said it was really bad.
Barbie was number 1. The Meg 2 was number 2.
Of course, because of the fandom. That's an outlier in the equation.
And then Oppenheimer came in 3rd place. Okay. And the Turtles came in 4th.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine for it.
For opening weekend for Turtles?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think that's perfectly fine.
Opening weekend, 28 million.
Ooh, that's it?
That's it. Barbie made 53.
Do you know how much they spent?
For Turtles? I don't know how much they spent, but I'm because it's animated, it has to probably be, I'm gonna say anywhere between 80 to 100.
I don't even think this is going to be in the top 5 next weekend or the weekend after.
It's a good movie. It's a fun movie. I saw it. I enjoyed it.
To be honest, I don't even care. Like, I know box offices and movies have budgets that they have to do and stuff. I could care less what a movie makes anymore, because we're in the day and age where not that many people go to the movies anymore.
Well, and just like Couching and Slouching saying right there, people are broke and having to really choose which movies they want to watch.
I'm just going strictly on if it's a good movie or not. And if it is, sure, if it's like especially if it's a superhero movie, I have to go see it in the theaters because it's going to get spoiled. I have to talk about it. But something like TMNT, I'm super excited for it, and I have no problem waiting a couple months for it to come on streaming.
There was a lot of talk and a lot of hype leading up into this movie, considering the talk of the video game as well, everything that's been happening with The Last Ronin, The Last Ronin, The Lost Years. I was excited as well, but then when you get powerhouses of the comic collecting community like Panda, and people like TMNT powerhouses, OG TMNT collectors, that turn around and say it was not good, then I'm like, okay, let me pump the brakes here. Let me find out what's going on.
To interject, I think that's because they made this movie. They're teenagers. They're not 30-year-old turtles trying to act like teenagers.
But
I'm a younger dude, so I'm down with all that lingo and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so that's
I like
totally
that they were
cool.
teenagers.
Right.
I enjoyed the teenager aspect. I will agree. A lot of people are saying that they're more teenagers than they are ninjas.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Why they shouldn't be 50-year-old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, bro.
But our definition of what a mutant is not what they are either. They were mutated, right?
It scored really good with Rotten Tomatoes and the critics, which
the critics loved it.
They did.
Take that for whatever, if you will. I watched the trailer and I'm like, this doesn't feel like a Turtles movie to me when I watched the trailer.
It takes
what I'm saying is this isn't my cup of tea, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Thanks.
But you brought up something really good last week, is like when it comes to like the Lost Ronin and introducing the new Turtles for the next generation, the changes that they made and the adaptations that they made in this movie, which were fine, maybe do that with the next group of Turtles coming in and introducing them, because when somebody like me or Panda or somebody else pulls up a new Turtles trailer, and April is in April, Donatello's wearing glasses, Michelangelo doesn't look like Michelangelo, I'm like, that's not necessarily bad. That just tells me, well, this movie isn't for me. They're not making it for me.
It's a new version, right?
It's a different version of the Turtles. Then I'm not going to take my family and go spend $150 to watch it, or $100 or whatever.
Agreed. Streaming it, but again, I'm a big advocate on. I do not want to see the same thing for 100 years. Things need to change. That should not really matter. But streaming 100% is what I'm doing.
So I'll give you something that was going back to the early 2000s. I'm gonna go back to the early 2000s. Something that was the same but new. Ultimate Spider-Man, and I'm not talking about Miles. I'm talking about when they released the Ultimate line, and Ultimate Spider-Man came out. It was pretty much beat for beat the same story, but with a little more of a current flair, right? That time period, right? Where Peter Parker is a kid again, and now Mary Jane's kind of. It was when Bendis wrote it, he did a phenomenal job writing that story. It kind of went crazy towards the end, right? Where they introduced Miles and stuff like that. I think that's when Bendis lost his mind or something like that. But that was a good way of taking the character that we know and love that absolutely needed to be updated because he's been aged out for the most part. And they created this character. I think that's what they were trying to pull off here with TMNT, this version. This version of the Turtles is not the same version that we remember as growing up as a kid. And I don't think that's a problem. I like this movie for what it is. I agree there are certain things I didn't like. I wasn't too crazy about Bebop and Rocksteady and stuff like that. I wasn't crazy about that.
That was the one thing that was kind of weird in the trailer. Yeah, that I noticed.
Seth Rogen and John Cena, they were fine playing.
Do I get a Seth Rogen laugh?
Seth Rogen's in there. He does his thing.
If he laughs one time, that's enough for me to watch the movie.
Well, and Paul Rudd was great. Paul Rudd as the Gecko was phenomenal. He was my favorite.
Yeah, I was gonna say they had a really big cast for the voice.
They had a huge cast, and I think that's where a lot of the money went.
Right.
So the money didn't just go into the animation. The money went into hiring these guys to be voice actors. So we'll see. Anyway, it did not perform well. Fourth place is a very bad place to be. Let's see if this movie has legs. I personally think it might get some viewership, but Barbie's on. I don't know what's going on. Barbie's on a phenomenon right now. It reached the $1 billion mark. It's chasing Super Mario to be the top performing movie of the year. This movie has the potential to be a $1.5 billion movie.
Everybody had Barbies for 50 years. Everybody. It was a coworker and I were comparing what it was like to be a retailer of comic books and a retailer of toys. And I said, hey, apples and oranges. Everybody had toys growing up. Not everybody had comic books. Everybody had Barbies growing up almost as toys.
Mm-hmm. Or
like literally every household out there had at least a couple Barbies in it.
Yep.
Yeah. There was a Barbie. There were Barbies in my house. They weren't mine, but there were Barbies in my house.
Oh, I was sitting there playing Demolition Derby with my sister's Barbie Jeep and flinging Ken across the room and lopping heads off.
Nah. For me, Barbie was, she had a thing with He-Man.
I could see it.
Because I had plenty of He-Mans, I'll tell you that much.
Hey, Izzy, do you know why Mattel never released a pregnant Barbie?
They did.
Because Ken always came in a different box.
But we got it, guys. It came in, the joke of the day. But they did release a pregnant Barbie.
Dang it, I didn't think they did.
They did. That's why I was like, oh. They did release, and they actually make fun of it in the movie. They released that. They also released no, they didn't release. They made a Ken that was supposed to be a sugar daddy. And I think he went by Sugar Daddy Ken or something like that. It was Sugar's daddy. See, my daughter knows this stuff. So yeah, it's some weird stuff here. Anyway, let's go on because we got our last book in this list, and that's Batman Beyond Neo-Gothic #1. This is the 1-in-50 ratio. This book is hot because it looks good.
Fill me in. The Neo-Gothic. Has anybody read this? What's the
I
premise?
picked it up, but I haven't read it yet. I can't say much. I think this is just a cover buy.
Is this DC kind of dangling Batman into the anime side of things a little bit? I'm only asking because it says Neo-Gothic. I'm wondering if this is kind of
well, I think DC's been trying to get in there because we have the DC manga also that's come out, but they haven't released anything that's truly manga besides the DC manga book. And I think maybe this is trying to do a marriage of the two. Because a lot of people don't know Batman Beyond has a lot of influences from Akira. A lot of influence of Akira. So it's a possibility. Who knows? But this book is demanding $60 on high. It's a nice cover.
The 1-in-50, and it's just barely above ratio.
Yep, exactly.
It's definitely going to be dropping, I feel like.
Oh yeah, give it time. Don't pick it up. Don't pick it up now, guys. I wouldn't do that. Anyway, let's take a look at what's the top 10 between CBSI as well as cover price. So we'll do that right now. So let's take a look. There you have it. Those are the top 10. So, Dirt, I know you got to head out. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for getting kicked out. And this time you're actually leaving.
Yep, I have to go. I'll hop into the chat, man, for sure. So I appreciate
Definitely,
you guys.
Man. Thanks for stopping by, Dirt.
Of course, man. Love you guys. See you later.
All right. So, any standouts from that top 10?
I don't know, man. It's. I'm trying not to get into that curmudgeon-y old man get off my lawn scenario after the last 3 years of really focusing on comic book content. But Hot 10 lists definitely seem to be back more in the spotlight than they have been in the last year and a half. Like there's been people that are paying attention, but there's been a lot of the community that's been very against Hot 10 lists. So it's interesting to see the correlations between the lists and how they're being driven. So it's not so much what books are standing out. It was interesting to see the Secret Wars 8 on there, though. It was interesting to see the Spider Boy on there for cover price.
I think it's because of sales, because these top 10s are based off sales, right? So if there's an outlier,
I think cover price is based on sales. I don't know about CBSI.
Well, CBSI does a little bit of it as well, so I'm sure that they're grabbing the same kind of information to get their list. I know that cover price, as we see it, is more current because this list came out today. Came out like around 4:30 today. So the cover price list is the most current as of today, where CBSI is Friday's list. It comes out on late Friday night.
CBSI is based off of sales, but it is written by people, whereas that might be a little bit more delayed versus, like you said, the cover price being data driven on that day or the day before.
Yeah. And I think to the point is that these books are being sold. People are buying it. There's a little hype on it. That's why you see books like the Zaniac being one of the top sellers of this week. It's because people, Zaniac, let's go pick it up. There's just people that are just watching stuff and then they're just going here. They go to eBay. They see something, they go to eBay. They go, you know what I mean? A little bit of that.
That's the tough part. The thing to share with the community watching all of the content that's being made around there, or people coming into the community watching the content, is top 10 lists are never buy lists. Top 10 lists are either sell or hold lists.
Yeah, exactly. So, take it what you can, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the books for this week because there's some cool books. It's not a big, heavy week. It's another light week in comparison to last week as well.
It is. It's that summer lull, man.
It is. It really is. So let's go ahead and take a look at this week's poll list. All right. So I am in awe, Andy, in awe to find out that Marvel only has 13 titles this week.
Yeah, didn't you say last week on your episode it was like 10?
Last week was 14.
It was 14. Ooh, I was way off.
Right, it was 14. The reason why I know that is because I changed the PowerPoint each week, so I know that number, right? Believe it or not, DC has more books than Marvel. This is the first time as long as I can remember.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So yeah, it is a low, but I like lows. It makes my wallet happy.
I can agree with that for sure.
So let's take a look at the books that are coming out this week from Marvel. Starting with Ghost Rider Wolverine Weapons of Vengeance Alpha #1. That is the book that is coming out this week. That is one of the #1 books. Also, Children of the Vault. This is one of the Fall of X crossovers. Fall of X is I'm curious where it's going to end up because in the Hellfire Gala, man, did they do a number on some of these characters. That's all I gotta say about that. They did a number. When they called Fall of X, they meant it. But some people came back almost immediately, like Iceman. So there's a lot of deaths in Hellfire Gala. It really was a gala. All right, so you got Children of the Vault. That's issue #1 that's coming out. SpiderMan Annual #1. You know what? I wish Marvel will take a cue out of DC. In fact, I wish Marvel will take a cue out of DC for a lot of things and not number these annuals anymore. Just do what DC does and just call it by the year. It makes my life a lot easier. Because let's be honest, is this really Spider-Man Annual #1?
Well, to be fair, if Marvel did that, then they'd have to limit themselves to one annual a year. Instead of, there's years out there that did like 3 or 4 annuals in a year.
Yeah, okay, whatever. But still, man, give me something that makes it easier for me as a collector.
Agreed.
They don't make collecting easy. These companies don't make it easy with these numbers, this numbering system. You know what I mean? It drives me nuts. I'm happy that Legacy's back, but it drives me nuts. All right. Now, as far as spending money, you're gonna need to spend some money if you want to pick up Amazing Spider-Man 31, because this is an oversized book that's clamoring $10.
Jeez.
Yep, because it is also considered, I don't know if you would consider 9/25 an anniversary, but
It's a wedding. It says it's a special wedding issue.
So it's a wedding issue, but it's not a significant wedding. It's also a cameo appearance, and yes, they announced it as cameo appearance of Mary Jane finally taking the mantle of Jackpot.
I did see that.
Yeah, so that's the hype behind this book. Amazing Spider-Man has been in a low for several years. I just wanted to go back to square one with Peter. Give me the Peter I love. Keep him simple. Why are you overcomplicating him, man?
And also this week, that Ghost Rider Wolverine, that's the hotly debated Frank Miller variant coming out of that too.
That's
right?
that's the one where Frank Miller has Wolverine with 3 shoulders.
I gotta look at that again now. I forgot.
He got multiple shoulders, man. So that's happening. Yeah, Frank Miller's legend, but I don't think he was ever considered a legend based on his art, even though he does have a specific art style. People when they talk about Frank Miller, they really talk more about his writing than his art. So, and his writing hasn't been that great either lately. So unfortunately, Immortal X-Men 14, Miles Morales, Spider-Man number 9, Avengers number 4, Guardians of the Galaxy number 5. Those books are also coming out this week, as well as Green Goblin 7. I like how they did this one. Cindy Moon is Silk. That's what they're calling it now. And Captain Marvel Dark Tempest issue number 2. And we have over at Marvel, we have 2 books here. Marvel Return of the Jedi, Max Rebo number 1, and Star Wars 37. What's your thoughts on these Star Wars books?
These, get them for cover price. Hold on to them as a good Star Wars read. Don't expect anything out of them beyond that. But now is the time to pay attention with Star Wars 37 from now going into the fall, where Marvel is doing the Clone Wars homage covers. There's some epic Clone Wars homaging going on within these Star Wars titles, and one of which is an Ahsoka book, or a Dr. Aphra book coming up, I think, if I remember correctly, with an epic Ahsoka cover. And as a huge Star Wars fan and a huge Clone Wars fan, these are the books that I'm looking at grabbing those, because there's the 15th anniversary of the Clone Wars, because God, it's been 15 years. Marvel and Star Wars love doing anniversary Star Wars.
Yeah. Yeah, Josh has been going crazy trying to get these Return of the Jedi homage covers with the border covers. He's like, it's like 40 covers.
Oh God, yeah. I've been grabbing them all, and I kind of regret sticking to that high horse, so to speak, of I'm going to complete all these, and I wasn't paying attention. They're doing 40 of them this time.
Yeah.
40 years.
40 years. A book for each year. Thanks. Appreciate it. All right. Moving on to DC. DC has more books than Marvel this year. This week, I'll say this year. This week. It's been a long show, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at, of course, most of them Night Terrors. Night Terror issue number 3 is coming out. Also, Green Lantern 2, Robin 2, Flash 2. I have not read the other Night Terrors book. I think the only one I read was Zadana. I liked it. It was fine. But I want to stick to the core Night Terrors book. Have you been reading any of the Night Terrors?
I read the that's gonna escape me. It's a character people have been telling me to read about. Not Robin, but Nightwing. I read the Nightwing one, and I enjoyed it. And some other people said that it was probably one of the worst performing ones out of the group. And I'm like, I thought it was all right. That makes me want to get in and read the core Night Terrors as well.
Yeah, the core Night Terrors story is pretty fine. I like what they're doing with Deadman. Sandman's back as far as Golden Age Sandman. Wesley Dodds is back, so they brought him back. So I'm curious where they're going to end that story off. The Green Lantern one is being written by Jeremy Adams, so he continued the run. So it's almost as if it's part of the story that was originally based off, because that's what these are. These reminiscences, we were talking earlier about the Marvel annuals. These remind me of the Marvel annuals from the 90s. Remember that they were part of the annuals? Yep. That's what Night Terrors reminds me of, that it's like an annual event rather than a crossover event. I'm fine with it. I do want my regular books to finally come back because we got Green Lantern, Robin, Flash, also Shazam, Santana. Those books are all part of the whole Night Terrors. I'm not a huge fan of collecting all these books because it's just too much to handle. Unfortunately, there are times where you get a little, you know, trickery that they'll just throw in something in one of these books, these little minis, and then you get the first appearance of Cindy Moon.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I kind of learned my lesson on was it? Oh, that event they did about 3 years ago, Darkest something or other.
Yeah.
I bought everything and was trying to read everything and just couldn't keep pace.
Yeah, it's just too much to handle. It's like these side stories are fine, and I think they're okay. They're, you know, and it's nothing new. These companies have done it before, but they will do like the crossover events, and it was just the side story that was going on. And what I liked then was that if you were into the book, then you could go ahead and read it. If not, I could care less. And that's how I feel about some of these stories. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's a side story. That's all it is.
I think one of the things DC does better than Marvel is Marvel's openly stated that when they do crossover events, they're doing it to prop up underselling titles.
Mm-hmm.
So you got an underselling title that isn't performing as well because the quality and content isn't there. So they try to do a crossover event to bring you in. At least with DC, I feel like you're reading in better quality content to a degree.
Yeah.
Whereas Marvel's even admitted to trying to bring up underselling books instead of writing a better story. Let's do a crossover event and get people to buy that book. So going into a DC situation like this, as long as I don't oversaturate myself, I'm getting a better read, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think another benefit to this is if I really want to end up reading this story, I'll read it digitally. I'll just use the DC Universe app because I'll have access to it. You know what I mean? And I like that because I like the Joker story. I thought the Joker story was pretty cool. What they did with Joker, that his nightmare was having an office job. That was his nightmare, which I thought was a good way of making a Joker story work. So you have that one. Talking about Annual, Superman 2023 Annual comes out this week. Also, World's Finest Teen Titans issue number 2. 10, Multiversity, Harley Screws Up the DCU, issue 6. Danger Street, issue 8. Spirit World 4. And I believe we got Batman Incorporated, issue 11. And of course, the book everybody has to get, Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries, issue 11. And Mad Magazine with issue 33. Whew, Mad is still doing his thing. Those are your DC books. Image has 8 titles this week. Let's get started with the Henfield Gang Massacre. That book is very interesting to me. So I'm curious to find out what that book is really all about.
Yeah, it's got me wondering what they're getting at. 2 creative individuals I don't think I've run into before, or at least I'm not super connected with that. And that right there leads me to want to check it out, right? Something a little bit different. You don't see a lot of Wild West or Western titles coming out lately at all.
Yeah. And this is coming from the same team that creates That Texas Blood. So it's in that universe. It looks like it's in that universe. So
I haven't read that yet.
Yeah, I heard some good stuff about it. All right. Another book that, you know, if Durs was here, we'd be talking all about it. Gunslinger Spawn, issue 23 is coming out. Swan Song 2, Kaya 10. Untold Fairy Tales of I Hate Fairyland, number 2. My only question is, why call it Untold Tales?
I don't know. I think you're just piling. They're just piling fun shit to pile on fun shit. I will say anything I've ever grabbed from this Fairyland style stuff from Scotty Young and that creative team has been a really fun read. It does exactly what a comic should do.
Yeah, it is definitely a fun read. I'll admit to that. Haunt You to the End, number 3. Stoneheart 6. Weird Work, number 2. What else is coming out from Image? Oh, that was it. That's all your Image titles.
There's one more. I could have sworn. I'll try to find it because it caught my eye, and there's a new number 1 from Image, not just that Western title. I'll try to find it while you're going on.
Okay, so now we have a couple of books from Scout Comics. 7 from Scout. Dark Horse has 5. Boom has 4. IDW has 3. Dynamite has 3, and Titan Comics have 3 titles. Let's go into them pretty quickly here. With Scout Comics, you have Ranger Stranger Summer Special number 1. That seems to be a bit of a fan favorite book. I heard some funny things about it. I never picked it up. A book that I actually pick up is Comic Book Kills number 1. Just the title alone has me intrigued. But the only thing I worry about Scott Comics is that if I buy number 1, when would I be to get number 2? I've always worried about that with Scout.
Yeah. Same with my LCS. They don't always get everything.
Yeah. We Wicked Ones issue 3, Banshees number 3. That's a pretty fierce cover right there. And speaking of books that take forever to get, Eternus issue number 7. That book takes forever to come out. Snow White Zombie Apocalypse issue. Now that's a title for you. Whew. Junction Jones and the Corduroy Conspiracy number 4. And those are your books from Scott. I got to give it to them with their titles, man. That's some titles, man. All right. Dark Horse has only a few books as well. Killer Queens 2, number 1. Right? It just makes me think of Queen. She's a killer queen.
I wonder if that's what David M. Brewer was going for with that.
Yeah. So you have that one. Barnstormers issue number 2. The first book was, was demanded because of that Jenny Frison cover. So we'll see how issue 2 does. Masquerade issue number 7.
I love that cover. I mean, in all honesty, when a title or a company comes out and they do a cover like in the style of Golden Age without actually doing an homage, like this style, I love the style. I can't afford
colors alone.
So they go back, like, I just want to grab this just from the cover, and now it makes me want to read the title.
Yeah. Masquerade is a cool book. It's I think it's coming from, is it Kevin Smith? I'm trying to remember. If it's
it's Kevin Smith.
It's a Kevin Smith title, yeah. So yeah, it's a cool. I picked up one book, I enjoyed it. And it actually has a few people in it. It has a good list here. But it's definitely, I like that cover. There's another cover. There's a cover B that's pretty cool looking too. It's not the same as this one, but cover B has a nice cover as well. All right. Then Survival 4, Murder Inc. Jagger Rose issue number 4. And those are Dark Horse. Dark Horse always pulls out some pretty good books here and there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So moving on to Boom Studios. A book, Mech Connect.
There it is, Mech Cadets. I thought it was Image, but it's Boom. Sorry.
Yeah, it's Boom. Mech Connect. Yeah, this one has some hype behind it. I know it was a free comic book day book as well. With Mech Connect, I'm interested in the book. That so much that I might actually pick it up. And when it comes to these books, man, I have to have interest in order for me to pick them up. You know what I mean? If I don't have interest for them, it just won't work.
This tugs at my 90s strings as a kid growing up with Akira and even, you remember that movie Robot Jocks out of like the late 80s?
Robot Jock, it sounds familiar, but I can't remember.
It's got like a cult following, and it's never been released on DVD or anything crazy like this. It was just guys getting into robots, mech warriors, and battling it out for money and fame.
Oh, okay. That sounds cool. Yeah, that sounds good. Well, Mech Connect is actually written by Greg Pak.
Okay.
So he's the writer, and it is a Japanese artist, Takashiya Mizawa, something like that. I'm butchering the name, but it does have a pretty good team behind it. And it is based off a Netflix series, so that's why there's a little bit of hype behind it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's either a franchise or something like that, but this is considered a new book. So you might want to pick it up just for spec purposes. Who knows?
I know I'm kind of with Beckerman there. Boom has kind of killed my wallet enough something's killing my wallet over the last couple of years. And
something's killing your wallet. Speaking of which,
I'm with Beckerman. I'm a little wary when it comes to Boom titles just because of how they like to they'll pull you into a rabbit tunnel or rabbit hole, so to speak.
Yeah. And House of Slaughter 16. I don't know how I feel about this cover.
I'm not a fan of the cover. I'm picking it up simply because I've been picking it up and reading cover A since it came out, House of Slaughter. And even though I'm a little bit behind, people have told me that it's gotten better. Yeah,
and this is the jumping on point. So it's a part 1. Alabaster is the name of the storyline for this one. I just that cover, I don't know what it is. It feels very cartoony in a book that shouldn't be cartoony. The other covers look fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other covers, there's a Peach Momoko version as well. So, yeah. And Ricardo Lopez has a Virgin variant that looks really nice. Ricardo Lopez Ortiz, man, you couldn't get more Spanish than that. That's a nice cover, though.
I didn't look at the variants because honestly, Boom will take one. I love the stories that Boom puts out, and the creative teams they use are great. My problem with Boom is they'll take this one cover and have you buy 4 comics of the same cover if you're trying to be a completionist collector.
Yeah, and I hate that. All right. Also from Boom, you have Damn Them All 7 and Ghost Lord number 4. We gotta go.
Now, if anybody's a Walking Dead fan, Damn Them All is something they should probably take a peek at because it's Charlie Aldred on the art.
Oh, Walking Dead fame right there. All right, we got Tate Prime who just made it to the show. What's up, Tate Prime? All right. And we got IDW franchise. Godzilla, Here There Be Dragons. Star Trek, The Motion Picture Echoes number 4. My Little Pony, The Best of Pinkie Pie. I love me Pinkie Pie. Pinkie Pie is my favorite, by the way. That's all I got to say. I love Pinkie Pie. She's great. She is the Harley Quinn of the My Little Pony universe.
Oh,
she really is. So Pinkie Pie, just for those of you who don't know, Pinkie Pie knows she's in a cartoon.
Break the fourth wall, huh?
She's a fourth wall breaker.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So she's like Harley Quinn. She's kind of like Harley Quinn in Deadpool in that way, right? So you have that book. Over at Dynamite, they have 3 books as well. You got Vampirella Dracula, Range number 1. Barbarella, The Center Cannot Hold, issue number 5. And Gargoyles, Dark Ages, issue number 2. Did you hear the news about Gargoyles?
I've not.
So Gargoyles is going to become a live-action movie by Kenneth Branagh from Thor.
Interesting.
Yep. So they're going to do it. So Gargoyles, we're going to see a lot more of Gargoyles. Mm-hmm. Becker, trust me, in Pinkie Pie's way, it's a good fourth wall breaker. She does a good job in it. There. We also have Joe, the Avengers. Joe just made it. What's up? All right. So you got that Gargoyles. I'm excited for that. I was never big on Gargoyles as a kid, because I was kind of already at that teenager stage when Gargoyles came out. And it still struck me as Disney animation. You know what I mean? It was like Disney trying to take over because it was trying to do its Batman. It was trying to become a Batman, and that was kind of throwing me off.
Gargoyles was really hitting its stride right as I was in that same. I was just getting a little bit too old for cartoons, and then the reruns, the syndication again. When you start to see that, it was just past my prime or past where I was at.
Yeah, but I hear a lot of good things. Like, Keith David in Gargoyles. I know, tremendous voice actor. All right, Titan Comics. You got a book for that was a holdover from last week, which is Heat Seeker, the Gun Hunting series, issue number 2. Scarlet Couture, the Munich File number 1, and Rivers of London, Here Be Dragons. Not to be mistaken with the Godzilla book that's called There Be Dragons. Go figure. It's a book that sells Here Be Dragons and There Be Dragons. Who would have thought that would have been happening? All right, we have Nelson in the house. Demifer, what's up, Nelson? Welcome. And let's go. Let's keep moving because it's well past time for dinner, and I got to eat my dinner. I'm hungry. San Julian's Queen of the Lost World and Gene Simmons' Dominatrix number 2. Dominatrix is getting some hype. People are picking that book up. I wonder why. It just has 2 names that says everything, right?
Yep.
Gene Simmons and Dominatrix. Why wouldn't you pick that up? Another book that a lot of people, I've been hearing a lot of good things on, is You've Been Canceled. I heard some good stuff about that book. Right? And Legacy of Violence over at Mad Cave Studios. So those are those books there. There you go. It was Becker. Becker was the one that was talking about You've Been Canceled. It's pretty good. Yeah, I've been hearing some good stuff about You've Been Canceled. Right. Over at Upshot, you have a new book coming out for AEW Upshot, The Madness number 1. Oni also has a new book, Dwellings number 1. Ahoy Comics has Con and On number 2. Rebellion Comics, best known for Judge Dredd Comics, is Battle Action number 1. And let's get our last. Yeah, it is. Those covers are awesome. Over at Whatnot Publishing, the North Valley Gomorrah and Blood Moon Comics has these titles, man. The Duchin Smile, that's That looks like a horror book. But then it's Blood Moon Comics. Of course, it's a horror book. Submarine has the feeder number 3, and another company that's been around for a little bit. The Unlikely Heroes Studios has Warp Hustler number 1. Whew, a lot of books, man. A lot of good books. But it's still considered a lighter week of comics. I think it's a good time to get some comic books. And if you want to get your back issues, I think it'll be a good time to go pick up some books that you didn't pick up before that you want to pick up this week.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You ready for a giveaway and we could call it a day?
Oh, hell yeah, man. This is a week of giveaways.
It's giveaway time, so let's do this. All right, so let's get ready for this giveaway. I'm going to go ahead and put the hashtag. You guys already know what it is, and that is we got to find us some Josh, man. So make sure you put that hashtag just Josh already, which I think most of you already have, because we need to do our best to find Josh. He's been missing, guys. He's been on Whatnot streams doing it. I don't know what's going on with Josh. He's not giving Durs his comic books. He's in the dark place, guys. You know, so if you do see Josh, do not chase after him. Please do not. It might be dangerous. But please, just Josh. Just find Josh. Let's just find Josh, guys. Make sure you put that in there. And he was lurking on my big screen TV. There you go, Dagger. All right, so we got 8. I feel like we should have more entries because a lot of people put them in earlier. So we only have 8 entries right now, unless it's me. All right. So, while we're waiting for people to put in their just Josh, is this a joke?
Here, I'll jump in on that, but if I win, it'll be a reroll.
I can't tell you, Esteban, but
there it is. There's people coming in.
Yeah, people are coming in there. All right, so we got to find Josh, guys. We got to find Josh. Anyway, let me go ahead and show you guys what today's giveaway is going to be. Let me turn this off for a second. We're going to be giving away some Ghost Rider Wolverine goodness here. So I'm going to give you guys Ghost Rider Wolverine Punisher. That would be the dark design. This is a Ron Garney book. I really love Ron Garney's artwork. He's one of the best artists out there. Really love his stuff. Junior's book with Ghost Rider Wolverine Punisher. So this is the first one, The Heart of Darkness, another fun book that came back. It's been owed. And you got a nice little crossover event with the X-Men. So you have X-Men number 9. You got a Jim Lee Ghost Rider. And then you got little Jubilee in the bottom here. You see Jubilee right there. I love this one here. So you got that one. Issue number 26 of Ghost Rider as well. So another Jim Lee cover. Look at that Brood. He was infected by the Brood. This story was pretty cool. Issue 27 as well came out. All right, issue 27 of Ghost Rider. And a signed Andy Kubert Ghost Rider. Nice. Issue number 29. This one's signed by Andy right there. And then finally, we're throwing it in. You get a nice little glow in the dark book. So make sure this book goes with you in your bedside, on your bedside. Make sure it's there. All right, we got 10 entries. I feel like we're supposed to have more. I don't know, maybe, but
it feels like more people entered.
Yeah, I did see more people, right? So you're too old for cartoons? Oh, okay. Yep, this is a classic Ghost Rider X-Men crossover event that I am giving, and yeah, Ron Garney's Ghost Rider is Ron Garney's awesome in general, man. I love his stuff. His SpiderMan stuff is fantastic. One of the very good. Yep. That is a fine giveaway. Thank you so much. All right, so we got 10 entries. Might as well do the 10 entries. So let's go ahead and show that screen. If you make sure you put that hashtag Find Josh, guys. We got to put Find Josh. There we go. 11 entries for this giveaway. Okay, we're getting some people. We're getting some people here. All right, let's find out who wins. It's never too late for cartoons. I love me some cartoons with that one. All right, and our winner is. Oh, this one's going.
No. Reroll.
We're gonna do this again. You called it. You definitely called it.
There's a spade. There's a spade in the deck there.
That was funny. So let me see how this works. We just put find Josh this time, and we'll do a reroll again. All right, let's see. Now
it pulls 14 when you drop. That tells you right there that 3 people just didn't put the hashtag in front of it.
Yeah. So let's see. You deserve it, Andy.
I've got half those books already.
I have multiple copies. I didn't even know I had this many copies, so I was like, oh, might as well get these out.
Whenever anybody's doing a giveaway, I always enter it, but I say if I win, we're going to do a reroll or it's going to be re-gifted to somebody because I've got piles of giveaway stuff that I'm working on setting up here too.
Well, I'm in the point right now that I literally have to consolidate. My closet's full, and now the boxes are on the overflow.
Same.
So I'm at that point that there's just no more space.
Yeah,
it's over. So we're gonna be doing a lot of giveaways. You got I forgot to mention as well. I am doing the mystery bags. So that's something I haven't mentioned. I'm doing the mystery bags. We have mystery bags for $30. There's 5 to 10 comic books in each bag. All of the bags have keys. There will be books from the Bronze Age, the Copper Age, and some modern books. And there will be a ticket in one of the bags for a CGC Ken Lashley book. So if you guys go to IG, you could claim it. Number 4 already has been claimed. I'm going to send that out already. But I have 9 other mystery bags that are ready to go. $30. If you are a channel member, shipping is free. If not, it's $35 to ship it. Anyway, let's get back to this. We got 14 entries now. So let's take this out of the way. 14 entries for Let's Find Josh. Come on. Let's see who gets it this time. And the winner is...
would that be if he popped in right now?
Take Prime! Take Prime, congratulations. Make sure you send me your information over in IG so I can ship you this fine stack of books. And I believe Tate Prime's a channel member. So Tate Prime, you might get something else in this pack. Who knows?
Nice.
Yeah. So Andy, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you for joining us. Same thing with Dirts. Dirts is, he had to go take care of some family business, and we all know how that is. But Andy, tell the world where we can find you, man.
Dude, thank you again. I really appreciate it. I want to be free more often on Monday nights to hang out with you guys. You guys can find me on my channel at Comic Man Indie. We actually have a giveaway going on there right now. We unboxed this little lovely book just a couple of weekends ago, and that video is in the list for CGC videos. If you go to the front page of my channel, it's the Ashley Eckstein Matt Lantern signing that we unboxed that book. Just leave a comment in that video. There's instructions in the video. You leave a comment in the video about what's your ultimate signed grail for your PC, for your personal collection that you'd like to achieve or that you already have. Just add hashtag taco to that. And we're going to draw winners this Wednesday during our new comic book day show. We're going to have 3 winners. One, we're giving away a comic shell. The guys were fantastic enough to send one of those our way to do a giveaway because they're fantastic for carrying slab books around.
Yeah.
Where you can put raw books, you can put top-loaded books in there. We're giving away one of these amazing, extremely clear and fantastic encasables from Encased In Comics. And when I saw these a few months ago, I was like, I gotta put our book in that because it looks phenomenal. We're giving away one of those. And State of Comics donated a $25 gift card to State of Comics. So that'll be like a gift card code via email. 3 winners. We'll do it live. Just ask everybody to pop over to Comic Man Andy, subscribe, leave the comment in that video, and you can find me on IG with instructions there as well. And I'm just like you man. I got stuff piling on top of stuff and piling on top of stuff. We're going to be doing a 2,000 subscriber giveaway, which is going to be like a whole kit of stuff. I don't want to spoil it, but that's going to be happening soon in the future.
Yeah,
too.
I'm gonna be getting rid of a lot of stuff, man. The more people start subscribing to the channel, the better for us, because the reality of it is I need to get rid of stuff. And I got a lot of good stuff that you might want. So if you subscribe to the channel, if you join the membership program, that's how it is, man. So it's good, man. But congratulations to Tate Prime.
Yeah,
yes.
Definitely throw stickers in there. I got a pile of stickers. Yep.
We got stickers. We got some other stuff that I'm gonna throw in there, Tate Prime. So congratulations, Tate Prime, once again. Until next time, guys. It was fun. Don't forget, make sure that you go ahead and you do your best to find him, but do not approach him. Don't forget, and we'll leave you with this one more time.
I'm not sure where he is, but we're all scared. Where is Josh? Hashtag find Josh. I'm trying to find him right now.
Well, hello there, Apple ladies. I wanted to talk to you about something really important. Now, I'm not joshing you. I feel like we all need to be looking for Josh. He seems to be missing. And as a Gen Xer, if he's gone into the woods, we know that he's not in a good place. So, Josh, where are you? Can you help us find Josh? And, of course, we know we don't talk about the woods.
This is a public service announcement. Everybody, please stop what you're doing. This is an emergency broadcast. There's a member of our community missing. Have you seen him, my dude? No? Everybody, hashtag where's Josh? Hashtag find Josh. Either one works. Let's go look for this dude. Josh? Josh? You in here, my dude? No? Are you in here? Man. Where is this dude? He has my Transformers books and my Spawn print. Let's find him.